Saturday, October 13, 2012. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and we're underneath my 1983 Mercedes 240 diesel. I figured before going any further with cleaning the car, it was a good time to repair the brake line. I've got the weather for it today. You can see all this here is brake fluid, and the reason I'm sure of that is every time I hit the brake pedal, especially with the car off, I can hear the brake fluid coming out here. So it's time to get to repairing this. It's a broken steel line, probably rusted through. The line most of the way back to the engine seems to be in okay condition, so I actually am still uncertain whether I'm going to replace the whole line or just section it off here and replace it. But the important thing to note is that the brake here is above this section of body, and I actually can't get to the broken part, so I'm gonna have to cut, and I can probably route the new line over there, but I can't actually make the repair where it is. I'll have to cut a little further along, and it's all dark. Let me get the night shot on here. This is the junction. It seems that there's one brake line going from the front of the car to here, and then it splits off to the two rear brakes. So I'm gonna disconnect right here, cut the line, and then take this sample down to the auto parts store to match it up. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll continue on with repairs. I went to the auto parts store and I got some new sections of line. This one here I think is about 20 inches. This one here 30-ish. This one 8. I doubt I'm going to need all of it, but I just wanted some room to play with, and seeing where I have to fit the line, I thought that, you know, one very large piece would be difficult to bend into place there. So I'm going to get to this now. But first I'm actually going to have to cut out or make a cut on the old section of line we're going to be making the new connection. Right down there, that red tool, that is my tubing cutter. So I'm going to get under the car and do that. Well, I was getting ready to cut the brake line when this happened. See all that dripping there. The brake line was fastened to the body at the same place that a couple of diesel lines were. And apparently at that particular point, those were also so rotted through that when I took off this clamp and rubber buffer you see here, that was enough to cause this leak. And when I look in the garage, and I actually do see some, it had been seeping a bit onto the floor already, but this just opened it up. And this piece here, with that, I don't know, breather filter, whatever it is on the end, I mean, this just snapped off completely. So I'm going to have to deal with this most likely tomorrow. Well, I'm going to call it quits here for today. Basically, if I've done everything correctly, I have fixed the brake fluid and diesel leaks. Now, some of this really is just patchwork, and I really do have to come back and correct some of this. I had to run a few, basically I had to cut off the metal lines a little further down there, and I'll show you, I'll get up a little closer and I'll show you that. The first one was I had to run a line coming off the screen here, off the tank. You can see I took off the rubber cover, and I'll put that back on later, but this here is the diesel fuel screen, and it's so clogged up it took, I don't know how many hours to drain the diesel out of the tank. I drained it into a bucket. And normally it passes through this metal pipe here, but all the metal pipes were compromised at some point, so this is disconnected. And because I didn't have anything else to bridge these lines, and this is a special, line that threads into the it threads directly into the diesel screen, I used a ballpoint pen. Now this really is just temporary for getting me in and out of the garage, so this will do just fine. But just so you know, you can bridge a piece of 5/16 inch inner diameter fuel line with the hollow tube from a ballpoint pen, and works rather nicely. So this is just temporary. Obviously, before I ever drive the car, I'm going to fix this, and I still do intend to replace the diesel tank. I thought about doing it this weekend, but it was just way too much work to get into. You can see the other lines coming off the tank here. I replaced those. Those are new rubber hoses, and everything just kind of zip tied off here to keep it out of the way and keep it from hitting the axle. And then over here, hopefully I cleaned out this breather filter right here, and I ran a piece of hose directly to that, and these zip ties are just to keep everything in place here. I haven't put the line clamps back on the car yet. I'll do that sometime in the near future. And these here are the fuel lines, and I believe I do have them routed correctly. And here's the brake line I fixed. Now this here, I had to make a bubble flare on the old line where I cut it, and hopefully I did that correctly and it won't leak. But either way, it should leak less than it did before. Worst case scenario, I just take out the whole piece of brake line and replace it all the way back to the engine compartment. So once again, that's worst case scenario. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and thanks for watching.